But you always knew that you would?
Yes.
Yeah, because?
Because we're friends.
Friends first.
Definitely. We grew up together, and you know, we've been in this group since we were 9 years old.
Wow.
So since over half of our lives, it was so important for me for us to maintain our friendship, despite the solo success.
In honor of Women's History Month and the 20th anniversary of the fifth and final Destiny's Child album titled Destiny Fulfilled, I wanted to revisit this iconic album and era from the trio, as I believe it is their most underrated and underappreciated project. This was the first project I was really old enough to enjoy and appreciate, but for whatever reason, I don't see this album get as much love as their previous projects like Survivor or Writings on the Wall. So before we get started, don't forget to like this video and subscribe, grab your snacks, get comfortable as we take a trip back to 2004 to relive the farewell era of Destiny's Child. In late 2001, after releasing their third studio album, Survivor, which became a worldwide success, as it went on to debut on #1 on the Billboard 200 and sold 12 million copies worldwide by the end of the year, it was announced by Destiny's Child that the group would be going on a hiatus to embark on their solo careers. Kelly and Beyonce assured their fans that they would reunite during the fall of 2003 to record a new project, but that they wanted to give the DC brand a rest from the public eye. In a statement to the E! Network, Beyonce said, quote, "Destiny's Child put out 4 albums in 4 years, which is unbelievable. That doesn't happen a lot. We've been working, Kelly and I, since we were 9, nonstop. So I think Destiny's Child is going to take a little break," unquote. Following the conclusion of their Destiny's Child World Tour in June 2002, the ladies immediately started working on their solo endeavors. During the hiatus, the plan was for each project from the ladies to be staggered and spread out, covering different musical genres across 2002 so that they would avoid competing with one another. Michelle released a gospel album titled Heart to Yours in April 2002, which went #1 on the U.S. Billboard Top Gospel Albums chart, and also went on to sell 500,000 copies worldwide, becoming the biggest selling gospel album in 2002. Michelle also made her Broadway debut as the lead actress in the musical Aida in November 2003. As for Kelly and Beyonce, Beyonce was actually supposed to release her debut album in October 2002 and Kelly's in early 2003, but the label decided to switch their release dates as the smash success of the single Dilemma by Nelly and Kelly became a global hit, as it remained #1 on the charts for 10 consecutive weeks and later earned the duo a Grammy for Best Rap Song Collaboration. As a result of the song's success, Columbia Records moved up Kelly's alternative R&B and rock debut album titled Simply Deep up to October 2002. Kelly's album peaked at #12 on the Billboard 200 and went on to sell over 2.5 million copies worldwide. Given that Beyonce's album was pushed, it gave her more time to enhance the album. By June 2003, Beyonce established herself as a superstar when her debut album Dangerously in Love was released, which became an immediate commercial success. It topped the charts at #1 on the Billboard 200, selling 317,000 copies in its first week, and spawned 4 top 10 singles and 2 #1 songs with Crazy in Love and Baby Boy. At the 2004 Grammy ceremony, Beyonce took home 5 Grammy Awards. Additionally, the album also established Beyonce as a highly marketable superstar, one with endorsement deals like L'Oreal, her own fragrance, True Star, and movie roles such as the Pink Panther and a high-profile then-boyfriend, Jay-Z. Given the solo success of each member, rumors swirled that the group would disband, but reports began to surface in late 2003 that the trio was preparing for their comeback and was looking to release not 1 but 2 albums in 2004. An MTV article said that Destiny's Child will soon be coming back at full power, putting out 2 new albums in 2004. The first LP is currently slated for a February release, just in time for Valentine's Day. That opus will show that Beyonce isn't the only one in the trio who is crazy in love. The group's rep says the project will be themed around romance. Later in 2004, a traditional DC3 album is supposed to come down the pike and focus on more than amorous musical premises. On the 1-year anniversary of Dangerously in Love on June 24, 2004, the group announced that their return was imminent. In the summer of that year, the women reunited to record their forthcoming project titled Destiny Fulfilled, mostly at Sony Music Studios in New York. The album was recorded in a 3-week period, which included an all-star roster of writers and producers such as Sean Garrett, Rich Harrison, and Rodney Jerkins, also known as Darkchild. During the first week upon the recording process, the ladies spent that week just catching up and having conversations with each other, as it was the first time since their hiatus that they spent an extended amount of time together. Kelly mentioned that all 3 members were at different places in their lives and that they went through a lot personally, so they used their recorded conversations as inspiration to make it the main theme of the album, which largely focused on a women's relationship journey.
Basically, it starts off with Lose My Breath, which basically talks about a guy who's talking all of this noise on how he's going to fulfill you, and he's not quite doing what he's saying. He's wrong. Exactly. So we tell him, you can't keep up. I need a soldier. And then this man deserves it, so we say we want to cater to him. Finding out that the guy is not exactly what we thought, and we have to depend on our friends to help us get strong again. We find the strength and the love within ourselves, and then God brings us true love.
The ladies used the CD tracks producers sent to them, which helped them alter the style of singing, which now featured each member alternating their vocals on each line of the lyrics. Musically, the group aimed to challenge themselves with a new and mature-sounding project, drawing inspiration from groups such as The Emotions and Jodeci. The final project resulted in a soulful, hip-hop, and predominantly R&B-leaning project that is composed of mainly mid-tempo songs that chronicle the ups and downs of a relationship. Around the time it was announced the group would be reuniting, the media questioned Beyoncé's motives for rejoining the group given her rising stardom that eclipsed her group mates. Entertainment editor Margot Watson said, quote, "From day one, it's always been about Beyoncé. She's the one you can't take your eyes off of. No one really cares about the other girls. I think Beyoncé will eventually realize that these girls are throwing dust on her shine," unquote. But in conversation with NBC, Beyoncé and Kelly reiterated how important reuniting was to them by saying, "Well, the beautiful thing about us, we really genuinely are friends. And it was important for us to go our separate ways for a while, and we always knew that we would come back. We know our strengths and our weaknesses now, and it just makes the group even stronger and closer." Kelly went on to say that Destiny Fulfilled is just, I have to say, one of the most amazing records that Destiny's Child has ever done because, like I said, its growth, its confidence, it's just so many different elements on this record that makes it, the great record that we feel that it is. The rollout for Destiny Fulfilled officially begun on September 9th, 2004. The group made an appearance at the Fashion Rocks concert and handed out copies of their lead single, Lose My Breath, to fans when they left the show, and immediately released the single online, which was quickly sent to radio. During its release, the group also announced the album title and release date, which was initially set out for November 16th. However, the album was actually released a day earlier on the 15th by the record label due to fear of leaks, in addition to the album being released a full week earlier by MTV on its online streaming platform, while other companies like Walmart and Trans World Entertainment began selling the album on November 12th. As a result of the premature release dates, the album debuted at number 19 on the Billboard 200 with 61,000 copies sold in a single day. The following week, the album skyrocketed to peak at number 2 on the Billboard 200 and sold over 497,000 copies later, going triple platinum 2 months after its release. The first track, Lose My Breath, was co-written by all three ladies, Darkchild, Fred Jerkins, LaShawn Daniels, Sean Garrett, and Jay-Z, and produced by B. Kelly Michelle, Darkchild, and Sean. The song opens up with an incredibly thunderous militant marching band sequence that samples the drumline performance of Taps by the University of Michigan Marching Band. After hearing a suggestion from Jay-Z of a chorus including the lines of "Can you keep up?", the group took his idea and began to write a verse and bridge around it, which resulted in a percussion-heavy R&B and dance up-tempo record that details a potential male admirer offering nothing but empty promises and failing to make the cut as he is not fulfilling any of the promises he claimed he could. The ladies call their suitors out for writing checks they cannot cash, which motivates the ladies to find a man who fits their needs. During rehearsals for the music video, Beyoncé tore her right hamstring, which threatened to slow down production for the video, but fortunately she was able to heal ahead of schedule, which led to the release of the video a month later, which premiered on TRL on October 26, which the video also featured arguably their most memorable and high-energy choreography we have ever seen from them, or girl groups in general. As for the concept of the video, Beyoncé said, quote, "It's really a dance-off between a more sophisticated in-fashion Destiny's Child versus a more street Destiny's Child. And in the end, a third Destiny's Child, even more fierce, takes over. It's a lot of hard work for us because we have to learn 3 routines for the same song. People will be shocked because it's different for us. They've never really seen us dance," unquote. The song quickly grew on the charts and eventually peaked at number 3 on the Billboard 100, thanks to being the fastest-growing song at radio at the time, and due to the number of live performances of Lose My Breath. I swear, I see a new live performance of this song like every other week because it was just that era where artists actually pushed and proudly promoted their music at any and every platform. Destiny's Child first made their comeback with their first live performance of this song during the 2004 NFL kickoff season, and 2 days later at the Pepsi's Play for a Billion, as well as the Oprah Winfrey Show where the group also was interviewed, and my personal favorite performance at the Radio Music Awards where I think everyone, especially Michelle, was on a different level.
If you can't make me say, oh, like the beat of this drum, why you ask for some? You ain't really want.
Looking back 20 years later, this was the absolute perfect track to set the tone for the intro of this album and the energy the ladies were in for this era. And I think the execution for all of their performances was on point every time. As the ladies moved on from the guy who failed to keep up, they met a soldier in the second track who was able to check every box of their ideal man. The follow-up single Soldier, featuring Lil Wayne and T.I., was written by the ladies as well as Sean Garrett and was released on November 9th, 2004. The song is pure Southern hip-hop and R&B, as it has that crunk element to it that was widely popular in the southern regions of hip-hop music in the early 2000s. In this song, the trio described their ideal man by proclaiming their desire for a country, hood, or street guy who could protect and provide. Writer Sean Garrett said he wrote the song in the car on the way to the studio and later spoke on his experience collaborating with the ladies on this particular track by saying, quote, "I loved how Destiny's Child evolved and became this really incredible pop group, but I wanted to introduce them to the hood from the perspective of having the world look at them in a different way. What was great about that was that they all liked guys from the street. Each verse was a representation of the guy they were actually into," unquote. I like Beyonce's lyrics because it was such a covert way to subtly confirm her relationship with then-boyfriend Jay-Z at the time by singing, "We like them boys up top from the BK, know how to flip that money three ways, low-cut Caesars with a deep way, so quick to snatch up your Beyonce." But I think the real star of the song was Michelle, because she really was the icing on the cake to an already well-crafted song. Much like Lose My Breath, Soldier peaked at number 3 on the Billboard 100 and also went number 1 on the Billboard Dance Club charts, and also peaked within the top 5 in 6 European countries. The video was shot in black and white and features dozens of said soldiers, with the ladies dancing, posing, and walking with dogs on a leash. It also featured cameos from Lil Wayne, T.I., Genuine, Bow Wow, Ice Cube, as well as a very pregnant Solange Knowles with her then-husband. Beyonce said Solange was due the week they filmed the video, but they all wanted her to be included because of how adorable she looked. Much like Lose My Breath, they performed this song almost everywhere, but while people like to focus on the infamous fall from Michelle during their 106 & Park performance, I prefer to focus on how well she was killing their choreography on their Destiny Fulfilled tour, as well as when DC3 performed this song during their reunion at Beyonce's Coachella performance.
With the top down, feeling the sound, quaking and vibrating, your thighs ride harder than God.
The third track, Cater to You, was the fourth single released from Destiny Fulfilled on June 5th, 2005. And honestly, I am so glad it was released in 2004 and not 2024 because social media will have torn this song to shreds. Written and produced by the ladies, Dark Child, Rick Rude, and Robert Waller, the silky and seductive ballad discusses the depth of devotion and submissiveness the ladies were willing to provide to the soldier they met in track 2. I think the feminist warriors of this era will look back at this beautifully composed song with a sense of uneasiness, especially due to the objectification and suggestion of gender roles that counter where we are currently at as a society, and more specifically, the musical image of who we know Beyonce as post-2013. In Beyonce's opening verse, she states, "My life would be purposeless without you." I know the ladies were in their early 20s at the time, so I just wonder how they feel about this song looking back 20 years later. There was one review from the Sun Journal 2004 that commented, "In Cater to You, Knowles offers to give her man a foot massage and manicure, while Roland promises to keep in shape, maintain her hairstyle, and wear hot clothing." Yikes, weren't these ladies just singing about being independent women?
Michelle, doesn't that go against everything that independent women stand for?
No, it doesn't. I think you can be very independent, you can be very successful in your career, and then somewhere down the line you find a man that is worthy enough, or he finds you, for you to do all those things.
This is by far my favorite music video from this album because it exudes softness, serenity, and seduction, which are the same feelings I was left feeling from each of their live performances of this song. I think I can objectively say that their most memorable and iconic performance was when they performed Cater to You live at the 2005 BET Awards, when the ladies brought Magic Johnson, Nelly, and Terrence Howard up on stage to be serenaded to. Clips of this performance, and more so Terrence's reaction to receiving a lap dance by Beyonce, trends online at least once every 3 months. Recently, a new commercial surfaced of Michelle Williams for Uber One, in which she is sitting on a park bench wondering why, even though she is a member of one of the world's biggest girl groups, no one recognizes her. I saw a tweet in response to the new commercial that said, "LMAO, this was cute, but let me tell you how if Michelle, Queen of Bridge Williams, sat next to me, I'm singing her verse on Cater to You to show her respect for real." And this is absolutely facts because this song cemented Michelle as the queen of bridges across the music industry. There has not been a single bridge that Michelle has not crossed, and Cater to You really showcased Michelle's significance in the group and what she vocally brings to the table that is simply irreplaceable. Cater to You peaked at number 14 on the Billboard 100 and was later performed by Usher and Babyface at the 2005 World Music Awards during Destiny's Child farewell tribute performance. In July 2009, the local Chicago artist Ricky Allen accused the trio in a lawsuit by claiming that they stole his work as he claimed he copyrighted and performed his song titled Cater to You, released in the 1990s. He alleged that his song and the song by DC3 contained a similar title and lyrical subject material. The lawsuit listed examples when Allen's song says, "I want to rub you down," Destiny's Child asks, "Want a foot rub?" Alan's lyrics say, "The tub has hot steam rising, and I'm waiting to soak your body through. The Destiny Child song offers to let me run your bathwater." Alan's attorneys proposed the theory that a collaborator on Destiny Fulfilled, Maurice Joshua, possibly passed on the song idea to the group, as the plaintiff Ricky Allen once sent a demo of his music to Allen without ever receiving a response. A few months later, in December 2009, an undisclosed settlement was reached, which prevented the women from testifying in court. From Cater to You to T-Shirt, it is the perfect transition in terms of lyrical storytelling. After you meet a man who is worth serving to the point where you want to rub his feet, the natural feeling is being head over heels in complete relationship bliss. This song is obviously about making love to their partner and feeling that closeness and comfort of being in your lover's t-shirt when they are near and far. Co-written by the trio, Sean Garrett, creative duo Dre and Vidal, and Beyonce's cousin Angie Beyonce, the song seductively uses a t-shirt as a symbolic prop to illustrate the desire and lust they are feeling for their lover while craving his presence and basking in the scent of his cologne in the middle of the night while they await his arrival in the morning. I think their harmonies on this song is probably the best on the album because a well-produced vocal arrangement is going to do it for me every single time. Up until this point, things were going great until it wasn't, and that is something pretty much everyone can relate to at some point. In the 5th track, Is She the Reason, the ladies find themselves in a true dilemma where their man has wandering eyes and they feel they are competing for their man's attention. The track, co-written by the ladies and Ninth Wonder, samples Melba Moore's 1974 track, I Don't Know No One Else to Turn To, in a well-executed melodic journey of the stages of grieving a relationship on the verge of ending. I think Kelly displays denial and anger by expressing her disbelief of her man's betrayal. Beyonce executed the bargaining stage of grief perfectly by listing the way she was willing to compromise her values to save her drowning relationship by singing, "See, I know we're not official, but us being official ain't never been an issue. I was cool with no commitment. Let me take that back. It was you, so I was with it." And finally, Michelle exhibits the stage of acceptance so eloquently by embracing the fact that it's over simply by singing,
All you have to say was this ain't what you want.
and that would have been enough for them to go their separate ways. Following the end of a bad breakup or still being in the midst of a toxic relationship, the natural next step is a pep talk and words of support from your homegirls. Girl, the third single released from the album on March 15th, 2005, was written by the ladies, Ninth Wonder, Sean Garrett, and Beyonce's cousin Angie Beyonce. The song takes us through the tough and loving conversation two women, in this case Beyonce and Michelle, are having with their other girlfriend Kelly as they are concerned about her relationship, even though Kelly is downplaying the issues that are so obvious. The ladies work their hardest to comfort Kelly and to encourage her to be transparent with her romantic struggles, but throughout the song we gradually hear her open up by making excuses for her man and blame herself for why her man acts the way he does. I think the song expresses the true love and admiration the ladies all have for each other because it demonstrates that they are more than bandmates. They are sisters and genuinely honor and care for one another. This bond was solidified almost 10 years later when Kelly released her lead single, Dirty Laundry, off of her 4th studio album, Talk a Good Game, in 2013. In which the song revealed the abusive relationship Kelly endured around the time DC3 was on hiatus. Fans were able to connect the dots when the project was released that Girl was an autobiographical song that Kelly was really experiencing post the Survivor album. Kelly confirmed the timeline of events by saying, "Yes, it's so funny because I don't know how people connect dots with music and artists that they have followed for so long, but when I saw that on Twitter, people starting to put all the pieces together, like it was so interesting. They did it with Girl, they did it with Bad Habit, they did it with so many songs on that album, and I was like, okay, crazy." She went on to say that, "Of course I did feel emotional upon hearing Girl. The girls wrote it for me. Destiny's Child is deeper than what people see on the surface. Those are my homies for life. Those girls, we stuck with each other, period." As for the music video, I absolutely still adore this video to this day because the inspiration being the show Sex and the City was a very relevant and appropriate way to express the sisterhood and solidarity the ladies have for one another, as well as the way people enjoy being a viewer, watching drama and situationships play out on TV. For whatever reason, I used to listen to this song on a daily basis as a kid, and I think it's because the way Beyonce sings. It just hits different. Bad Habit, which was written by Kelly, Brian Michael Cox, Kendrick Dean, and Solange Knowles, is a complete, well-deserved Kelly solo song where she vocalizes the decisions she must make to end the relationship that has been weighing her down. It is a song where she realizes she has to do what is best for her and break the quote-unquote bad habits that have resulted in her playing the same games and going back and forth to the man that clearly won't change. I think this is a very necessary and self-reflective song that people can relate to, that despite all their efforts to make something work, it might not be enough and it is time to walk away with your head held high. I saw this one article that said, if Bad Habit is coming to the realization that it's time to go, if is when you finally tell them. and I couldn't agree more. The track If, written by the ladies Rock Wilder, Dana Stinton, Big Drawers, and samples the 1975 classic song Inseparable by Natalie Cole, I must say that this song is and will forever be on repeat because the strings, the harmonies, the sample all came together immaculately to create this exquisite masterpiece that is both a love letter to girl groups of the past and a final goodbye to the man that they have removed from their life. This song also highlights the strength and personality of each of their vocals and how they are able to blend into one another's vocals so seamlessly without a tweak. These are real vocalists showcasing through their music how powerful they, as a group and as friends, are when they uplift one another. I don't think this song gets nearly as much appreciation I think it deserves, especially for the way Kelly perfectly executes her come to Jesus moment.
You see, ladies, I know better. What was I thinking?
If is a perfect segue into the 9th track, Free, which was co-written by the ladies Big Drawers, Dana Stinson, Larry Alphonse Mizell, and James Carter. This song has a soulful 70s vibe to it that almost feels euphoric. As a listener, the freedom the ladies are emanating from their vocals is satisfying given the previous 4 emotional tracks. This song is a gentle reminder to all those who can relate that you made the right decision for your peace of mind. As Beyonce sung, I got my mind back, I've been there and done that, this time is for me, if you've been doing you, I'm going to do me. Through Real Love, co-written by the ladies Sean Garrett and Mario Winans, fiercely expresses all the many ways they have felt they had to dim their light for their ex. For some reason, this song gives very much the little sister of the song Listen by Beyonce from the Dreamgirls soundtrack, where it narrates being completely done being walked over and finding their voice and reclaiming their power. This song angrily highlights the various instances their ex had compared them to the models on TV, kept them away from their family, diminished their self-esteem, and stunted their growth, and took away their control in their lives. While it is a powerful breakup anthem, it is a strong declaration that through their faith, they have found a new and unbreakable love with God. The piano and gospel elements towards the end of the song really elevate their convictions that they have overcome the hurt from their previous relationships by finding their worth through a higher power. As usual, Michelle, the Queen of Bridges, really brought it home with her verse at the end. The final track, Love, co-written by the ladies Angie and Aaron Williams, is a soothing conclusion of the result of how friendship, faith, and self-love can guide you out of heartbreak and into a new chapter of love with someone else. It encourages listeners not to close the door on romance and that there is a light at the end of the tunnel after a tumultuous relationship.
I feel like Destiny Fulfilled is timeless. And I feel like it's a complete album. Each concept continues with the next song, and it's so thought out. It's a masterpiece to me.
6 months after the release of the album, Destiny's Child embarked on their final world tour, the Destiny Fulfilled and Lovin' It tour from April to September 2005, which had legs in America, Europe, Asia, and Oceania, that was also sponsored by McDonald's and BET. During the July 15th show in Atlanta, they filmed it for their Live in Atlanta video album, which was released a year later, in March 2006, which topped the top music videos chart and was later certified platinum. During their June 11th show in Palau, St. Jordi in Barcelona, Kelly made the announcement to their audience of 16,000 that Destiny's Child would be disbanding after the conclusion of the tour. In an official statement a day later, the group said, quote, "We have been working together as Destiny's Child since we were 9 and touring together since we were 14. After a lot of discussion and some deep soul searching, we realized that our current tour has given us the opportunity to leave Destiny's Child on a high note, united in our friendship and filled with an overwhelming gratitude for our music, our fans, and each other. After all these wonderful years working together, we realized that now is the time to pursue our personal goals and solo efforts in earnest. No matter what happens, we will always love each other as friends and sisters and will always support each other as artists. We want to thank all of our fans for their incredible love and support, and I hope to see you all again as we continue fulfilling our destinies," unquote. I do not care if the music critics absolutely despised this album when it came out, and if they were disappointed, it leaned more towards the R&B and soul side. This album is iconic and timeless. 20 years later, it has stood the test of time and is an incredible culmination of the musical growth we have seen from the Children of Destiny since they first came onto the scene. I appreciate that we saw each member shine bright and showcase their unique qualities we have not been able to see previously. With this project, we were able to see Beyonce's growth as a vocal producer. We were able to get a glimpse inside the experiences that Kelly was going through, and she was able to have her own solo song, and we were able to officially crown Michelle as the Queen of Bridges. I saw this one tweet that said, "I can't believe Destiny's Child was early 20s putting out Destiny Fulfilled. We are absolutely losing recipes because the girls are just not doing that anymore." When Destiny Fulfilled was released in 2004, Beyonce and Kelly were 23 and Michelle was 25. And looking back at the lyrical content of this project, it is so hard to believe that they created this at their young ages. They were so early in their careers and have grown so much personally and professionally over the years, but it seems the essence of what makes them so lovable to the general public has remained. To this day, I consider myself a Destiny's Child stan, and I am holding out hope that one day they will reunite and deliver us a new project or at least a new song. Over the years, it has been a delight to see the members reunite, stemming from Beyonce's Super Bowl performance in 2013, Michelle Williams' Say Yes song in 2014, Beyonce's Coachella performance in 2018, and more recently in 2023 when there was a full reunion at Beyonce's Renaissance World Tour and film premiere where former members LaToya and Latavia showed up to support Beyonce. I would say that this is my all-time favorite album from them, and my favorite songs from this album would be Soldier, Cater to You, If, and Girl, and I also believe this was a well-executed concept album. Everyone involved really took their time to ensure that the story they were trying to convey made sense and flowed well, and I also think this album could possibly be adapted into a musical play. I think it would be absolutely amazing if that were to happen. Let me know in the comments what you all think of Destiny Fulfilled. After 20 years, do you think it aged well? What are some of your favorite songs and videos from the album? Do you think the ladies will reunite one day to drop any new music? Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell, and I'll see you next time.